Okay, folks, season 4, episode 6, Invest in Yourself. Gotta say, John stepped it up in this episode. I gotta say that this is another example of the writers truly taking these characters and putting them in situations where you can definitely tell they are changing for the better. So, with that being said, make sure you take a moment to hit the thumbs up to show you like this video, and please hit subscribe. These bruh videos aren't doing stellar, but I said I'd review the entire season, and there's only 2 weeks left worth of episodes to do, and I'm going to pull through and do it. But yeah, I think that this week has been the most consistent. What I mean by that is the first 2 weeks, you had the first episode be a setup for the following episode. You know, like episode 1 was set up for episode 2, which was really good. Episode 3 was set up for episode 4, which was really good. But this time around, episodes 5 and 6 kind of felt the same. They felt like they were on the same wavelength of they were a little above average. So I'm giving this episode a 7, just like I did episode 5. They are good companion piece episodes. So picking up where we left off, Claudia is freaked out because there was a huge dead rat in her tray. Tom is getting, some other nurses and people from the hospital to come in there and take care of it and to find out who is responsible. So she is just losing it. Tom was like, look, you got to press charges. No. Well, I know a social worker who can. No, I'm not talking to anybody. Like, no, he's going to kill me. And that goes back to what I said about episode 5. They are aware Jack knows what room she's staying in. Why don't they just try to move her? Just saying. So from there, we go over to Regina, who's saying to Bills, like, hey, tomorrow me and Pam are about to go do some baby shopping. Do you want to come? Because remember, she looked at his computer in the last episode and saw him looking up the info on Jack and possibly is aware that this dude might be causing Bill some trouble. But in any case, she recognizes Bill is stressed out and maybe this could be a good way to get his mind off stuff. He's reluctant at first, but come to find out, he actually does agree to go shopping for the baby stuff. So then we get to the next morning, and like I said, maybe I missed it, but I don't believe the girl that Greg saw at the bar and came home with, we ever know what her name is. But Greg is like, so yeah, would you like to, hang out again later or go for a walk or something? What are you talking about? Like, try to get to know each other. But essentially she's like, look, I'm not really trying to get attached right now. I had a great time with you, but you just got out of a marriage and I just broke up with my fiance because he cheated on me and I'm just trying to enjoy my freedom. So she's not trying to be tied down right now. And Greg is a bit disappointed by this. So I find it odd that later in the episode, he asked Darla to come over, apparently a friend of his from California, because remember, Greg was out in California until he got his divorce. That's why he moved to Atlanta. A guy he knows in California is going through a nasty divorce just like he did. And, is kind of giving away a lot of his stuff. So there are a bunch of expensive wines that he gave Greg, including like a $7,000 one. And he's unsure if he's going to like sell it or, maybe just indulge in a bottle or two. But he has like what do you call like a cutlery board? It's like a bunch of like crackers and deli meats and stuff. And he wants to talk with Darla about going on an official date, which technically they've already done, except Pam ruined it before. But going on a date and, because, I had a couple and a patient who was a transgender, and that got me thinking about, how they're life partners and all, and like, regardless of what people say or think, they're doing their own thing. So I want to take you out on a date. And I guess this goes back to what Darla said about being courted and stuff like that. But yet again, I'm just thinking like, I don't think these two are a good fit because it's I don't know what their dynamic is, because going back to episode 5, Greg said, I want to be alone tonight. And then he goes to the bar. And then I guess he just meets this random chick and decides to go home with her. And then Darla comes over, despite the fact that Greg said he wanted to be alone. And she knocks on the door under the guise of, oh, I heard some banging and I thought something was wrong. You and Tom, I want to see if you're okay. And I'm thinking to myself, you probably used that as a flimsy excuse to come over, despite the fact that Greg said he wanted to be alone. And, you were dressed real nice and whatnot as a way of kind of enticing Greg to let you come in, possibly for some intimacy, despite the fact that you said, wait, we're just supposed to be friends and friends don't kiss and stuff like that the way we're doing. So yet again, I don't really know what the situationship is between these two. But going back to other locations at the hospital, I believe Tom meets with a social worker named Louise, and she is, giving the information about Claudia. And to be pretty blunt about it, she's like, look, you want me to go speak to her and, help her out. But to be completely honest, unless Claudia speaks up for herself, there really isn't anything I can do. Despite the fact, I get it though. She's absolutely right. Yeah, Tom is witnessing firsthand the stuff going on with the husband, but at the end of the day, unless Claudia says something for herself, and what was her name, Catherine, the maid, her friend, if she doesn't help out either, there's really nothing that can be done. But she does agree to come. Like, look, I got to go across town for another case, but later on when I get back, I will try to talk with her. So from there, we go over to Bill, because he actually agreed to go baby shopping with Pam and Regina. And Bill's in the corner with his AirPods in. And Pam is texting a guy, and I think it's the same dude she saw, or Greg saw her with at the restaurant bar area the night before. And apparently she's really liking this dude. And it's like, oh, this is the first guy I've really liked since Mike. And Mike wasn't in these episodes, and I'm just sitting here wondering, so at this point, is Mike aware that Pam is over him or what? I don't really know, because if not, because Pam didn't tell him, that's not a good reflection on Pam. So, Bill is like, okay, yeah, there's some cute stuff, but y'all ain't really, spending a lot of money, right? So then we go over to a scene where Bill is actually at the hospital seeing Claudia, and he wakes her up. She's like, run, Bill, run, run. And he just wakes up screaming, and Regina's like, wait, what's wrong? Oh, nothing. I just had a nightmare like that. The retail person was trying to push an expensive crib on us. So yeah, that was pretty intense, and I just like the fact that we're really seeing that Bill is being impacted by what's going on. Also, I forgot to mention this in the last episode when Bill is talking to Tom. He mentions how I'm getting a bunch of phone calls from a blocked number, so it must be John trying to do this pyramid scheme thing. And Tom is like, wait, John hasn't done anything like that since college. And Bill's like, do you think that is him? What if he has my phone number? So this is catching up to him. It really is. Now from there, we come to find out that when Tom is talking with the social worker, Jack's last two girlfriends mysteriously winded up dead. And Louise, plans to go inside there to talk with Claudia, try to convince her of what's up. And like, look, we need you to talk. So the guy who put the tray in her room with the dead rat is actually under the guise of, like, I guess a janitor this time around. And not Darla, but we got like a male police officer at the door. So this dude is just kind of scoping the area. So maybe next week he's going to make a move. So the only other thing to talk about here is John's storyline. Now he's in Natalie's yoga class, and he's kind of struggling to get the moves right in the positioning, but he actually tries to solicit some Blessing Inc. Merch to the ladies who are on his left and right side, but Natalie calls him out for it. And he's just trying to pitch it to her as well. But, she's skeptical, saying, look, I got to go to lunch, but I will let you pitch the product to me after lunch, and that's the only shot I'm going to give you. So John rushes home and changes clothes because he wants to look, really professional for this. And Alice actually has a moment of reflection that, oh, your Uncle Clarence had the entrepreneurial spirit just like you, and I see it in you, and I just want to say I'm proud of you, and I know you're going to make it work. Like, you haven't made a single penny from this product, but your enthusiasm, I want to just encourage you. And John was taken aback by this, as was I, that Alice would say something positive about her son, but as soon as he leaves, he ain't gonna sell shit. I thought that was funny, but I did think it was kind of sweet, because even though this is obviously a pyramid scheme, I like the fact that John is trying to do better for himself, and he's not half-assing it. He isn't looking for handouts. He's honestly trying to, make money from this. Is he going about it the wrong way? Not really. What I mean by that is he is trying to expand his outreach for potential clients and teammates, but his method of doing so isn't necessarily the most effective. But let me tell you, when he gives his pitch to Natalie, it's a bit shaky at first. He actually provides a good description of, what these products have to offer. And Natalie's like, okay, you know what? I'll give it a try. Like, I like how he broke it down because she asked about like fees and whatnot. Well, actually, you don't need to worry about like, membership fees and whatnot unless you want to be a team member. But, anything else, like just simply buying the products, it's like, set prices and whatnot. So I think John did a good job. I think he did a good job. And that is like, look, I'll try a couple of the products. And if I like it, I might allow you to hold a meeting or two here at my yoga studio. So this is pretty good, even though I feel like, Natalie might try these products because she definitely seems the type to be more, organic and natural with what she puts into her body. So she's probably like, John, this stuff isn't exactly what you claim it is, so, or think it is. But yeah, I did think this was a pretty solid episode, well-rounded, and a good way to close out the week. So with that being said, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I know people are like, wow, Jeremy, I can see you're definitely biased because Rain wasn't in either episode, so this week your reviews are really short. Guilty as charged. Catch you in the next one.